Well, good evening, everyone. This is Aisha, better known as Jade or Lady Jade, your co-host of Chit Chat Chew radio show. We're so glad that you decided to join us again another Monday from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. In a few minutes, we're going to have the awesome Candis, the Shero credit repair expert, also entrepreneur online. She's going to tell us a lot of wealth of information on how you can, repair or restore your credit, what you need to do. Chit Chat Chew just wants to let individuals know when we have a live guest on, you're able to download the app, which is AWDIO, or for our friendly LGBTQ community, you can stream live at www.gayTV.com. Thank you. However, when we have a guest on live, you will not be able to call in. So we do apologize for any inconvenience. We just want to give you the heads up. But it's still all good because at the end of the day, those that have downloaded the app or streaming live, if you have any questions, certainly you can follow up. And when Candis the Shero comes on, she'll definitely tell you how you can reach out. We'll definitely follow up and post it up on Facebook and all of our social medias, how you can follow her, how you can, all different ways on how you can follow her. So all is not lost. So we're just really, really glad that you came out and, to just come and check us out every Monday from 6 to 8 p.m.
And we definitely appreciate everyone that tuned into our show. And so stay tuned because this is going to be an important and interesting show. It's going to be a lot of helpful information, especially with credit. And I know a lot of people have problems with their credit or they're trying to get their credit fixed.
Absolutely. Did you introduce yourself, other co-host?
No, because you took the whole spotlight all on the microphone.
Oh, no, you didn't. You said yes, that I could introduce, but you go ahead.
Because you usually, introduce and then, you let me come in, but, you just took the whole floor, so I just let you have it.
Well, how about it's your turn, okay?
Okay, you turn into your girl Uno, the second co-host. The co-host was Jade.
So yes, we're very excited. Very soon, she'll be calling in the Shero.
The Shero.
Candis the Shero.
She's a superhero of credit.
That's right, of credit repair. I know I have a few questions.
And I got a couple. Definitely.
So again, we like to thank all of our listeners, however you tune into us. We're very grateful and appreciative. Remember, just support. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. 2 pages on Facebook, which is Chit Chat Chew Show LLC or Chit Chat Chew Radio Show. You can follow us there.
And Instagram is Chit Chat Chew Show. And on Twitter is Chit Chat Chew Show. And on YouTube, just plug in Chit Chat Chew Show and then we should pop up when you search us.
Yes. So, again, if you're interested in being a host, serious replies only. If you're interested in being a guest via by phone, or if you're local in the Atlanta or Metro Atlanta area and you would like to come into the studio, definitely reach out to us through our social medias. We'll be more than glad to
inbox, DM.
That's right. Check you out, see where you're coming from.
Us, that's fine.
That's right, and make sure that you're serious because no one has time to waste.
We're not gonna have just anybody on our show. I just want y'all to know that we want people that's credible, who's really about business and are productive.
Absolutely. And also, if you have an idea and you would like to do radio or TV, come check Mr. George Jones out.
I let George.
Okay, again, you have to be serious. No one has times for games.
No.
So if
Too grown for all that.
Absolutely, and if you want to know more about that, definitely hit us up. If you're serious and everything, and then following up after that, we'll give you the information, and you can let Mr. George know that Chit Chat Chew Radio Show told you to come check him out. So it's just a beautiful evening tonight. A little breezy, but that's all good.
Oh.
I think our caller is calling in right now. I think that's Candis the Shero.
Caller, you on the air?
Hello. This is Candis the Credit Shero out of Cleveland, Ohio. I am calling in.
Hey.
How are you?
Hi, Candis.
Hey, Candis. I'm all right. How about yourself?
I can barely hear you guys.
Can you hear us?
Can you hear me?
We can hear you really good. Can you hear us?
Can you hear us?
How's things going today?
Everything's going good.
Everything's going good. And Candis, I really appreciate you. I mean, I know you, a little more than Uno does. And I like to thank you again for taking out some of your time to get on this live call to share some information with all of us. And, just apologize for any type of miscommunications, but we're going to work through it, and it's going to be awesome regardless. And so we just want to just get on in there, so everybody that's on the app and on the sites and who's streaming live and all of that good stuff, we just want to find out a little bit about you, like what brought you into the business.
Well, first I want to say thank you for having me. And I have been looking forward to coming on. But what actually brought me into this business is because I had bad credit. I had less than perfect credit. I had a 540 credit score, and it hindered me from accomplishing a lot of my goals. I wanted to purchase a new car. Me and my husband wanted to purchase a home.
Mm-hmm.
And I was tired of paying high interest rates. So with all of that being said, it prompted me to do a little bit of research on different credit agencies that could possibly help me with my credit. However, when I came across FES, which is the company that I'm with, and that got my services and my credit restored, I actually was pleased, and I decided to take it on as a business.
Okay.
So just to give you a little bit of background about that situation with my credit, I had a little bit under $5,000 worth of debt. I had a 540 credit score, and that was in December of 2014. Then by mid-February of 2015, my credit score went to a 668. And within about 4.5 to 5 months after that, my credit score went to a 723. By the grace of this company and by the grace of God, by law, I did not have to pay any of that debt back.
Oh, wow.
So it really, really motivated me to want to help others and educate others about credit, which is something I wasn't familiar with in my background.
Okay. Cool. So tell us some more about. So I'm guessing that your credit is definitely up. It has your credit has gone up. Your credit score has gone up.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that? I couldn't hear you.
I'm sorry. Can you hear me now?
A little bit.
Okay. So I was asking, with all that you have went through and where you're presently at now, I'm guessing your credit has gone up and you're capable of doing so much more with your credit score that has gone up.
Yes. At that time, me and my husband now, we're in the process of looking for a home to purchase outside of the one that we originally went into search for. I had planned getting me a new car. I had got me a 2013 Mazda 3. I'm not big on big bulky and fancy things. So for me to go, totally out and extravagant, that's not me. But I lowered my car insurance. I lowered my utility rate, meaning my light and my gas, and I lowered my credit card interest rate.
Oh, that's good.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so tell me, Candace, you said FES, that's the business that you're in. Can you tell us a little more how that service works?
I'm sorry. Hold on 1 second, because I can barely hear you guys. And I don't know if it's my phone or the area I'm in.
Can you hear me now?
I'm so far away.
Can you hear us now?
I hear it a little bit better.
Okay, so what I was asking, you're in FES, that is the business that, you're doing your business with FES. Could you tell us some more? How does that service work?
So with FES, it stands for Financial Education Services. And basically what we do is we leverage a law called the Fair Credit Reporting Act. And that law was actually created by Congress in 1971. And basically it helps us to open an investigation and dispute any of the derogatory items that are on the credit report. So a lot of times those items, once we investigate them, put them through the dispute process, those items can be potentially deleted or positively updated because the things, or many of those things, will be unverifiable. So basically that just means that any erroneous, inaccurate, or obsolete items, such as maybe a bankruptcy, a repossession, medical bill, late payment, judgment, short sale, and really any other derogatory item could be potentially removed from the credit report.
Okay, and so how long has FES been in business?
Did you say how long does it take?
No, how long has FES, how long have they been in business?
FES has been in business since 2007. We had the same key owner since inception, and we actually also have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau, along with the 100% satisfaction guarantee, and we are also accredited.
Okay.
Okay.
You got a question, Una?
Yes, I do have a question. Now you were saying about getting things potentially deleted off your credit, whether it's car repossession, probably was it student loans, probably in any other thing of that nature. Now with the student loans, now because you have students who's currently in school, and then you have ones who are not currently in school. Is it mandatory for the students to pay those loans back? Is that even necessary?
Well, with student loans, everyone is a case-by-case scenario. However, it is, yes, you do have to pay that back for student loans, child support, utility bills, judgments. However, it's always more than one way to skin a cat, and there's nothing that says by law that it has to appear in your credit report in a negative standing.
Okay.
So whether you pay those items back or not, were you contacted by TransUnion, Experian, or Equifax to say, hey, Asia, on July 1st, you went to the hospital, you were seen, treated, released, you were billed, however you failed to pay the bill. No one ever sent you a letter in the mail or contacted you by phone to ask you those things. So
Right.
who's to say that it was you?
That's true. That's true. But if they send anything along the lines of a medical bill or some type of information about a loan, regarding paying it back, I mean, then does that mean that you still have to pay it by law, or you just like ignore it and kind of go through other channels to get that off your credit, if it is on your credit?
And are we talking about the student loan still?
Yeah, student loans and medical bills, etc.
Well, here's the thing. Student loans, yes, you do have to pay those back. As far as medical bills and really almost any other bill, once it hits a third-party status, there's no law or bearing under the Fair Debt Practicing Act that you have to pay a third-party collection company.
Okay.
And the reason for that being is because you didn't get it from them.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
See, what they do, what debt collectors do is what you call a skip search on a person's credit report. And the worse off your credit is, the higher of a target that you become to those debt collectors.
Okay.
So with all of that being said, at that point in time when they do the skip search, they make you a target. They sell your information, and then the debt collector purchases your debt. So at that point in time, that's when you start receiving calls and receiving letters in the mail. And really, you know, I advise anyone, if you have a situation where you've had to move, definitely update your information through the postal system to have your mail transferred to the new address. Because what then comes to happen is that you have a situation where, depending upon what that creditor has obtained, they may try to sue you. So at that point in time, if they get a court date, by law, they only have to go through the last address that was on file for you to send that information for the court date.
Right.
And once the court date comes and you don't show, then the judge will give an automatic default judgment to the plaintiff. So at that point in time, that's when a lot of people get letters through their job for a garnishment.
Yeah.
And I know in most states, the take-home is taken up to 25% of that balance. And then I know in Chicago, if you live in Chicago, they get up to 30% of your take-home pay.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's a lot.
So it's really imperative that you update and give a forwarding address, so that way when you are dealing with collectors, you know how to maneuver and kind of put things in place, so that way you can protect yourself. And I just want to give you all another little tidbit, a little secret that a lot of people don't know about, and it is so mildly spoken upon that people don't know. I didn't know until I came into the business. A lot of times when you have bad debt and you have a bank account, if someone was to get a judgment against you, they could just go into that bank account and take your money. Or they could just go and put a judgment against your home or a lien against your home.
Wow.
Or levy on your account, your bank account. So
Oh, wow.
when you put those assets into a trust, it takes it off of public record for someone to be able to find to put that lien, judgment, or levy against.
Right.
So now it's only on the person, it's not on the person's property or asset. So it's really, really important that you all diligently do your due diligence. Because when you don't know what you don't know, it definitely can hurt you.
Oh, yes.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Emotionally, physically, mentally, on so many levels, it definitely can affect you. And, you know, you can't move through life how you want to, far as building yourself. So, yeah, that's definitely pivotal, and that's definitely important.
So with me, can you hear me?
Yes, now I can.
Okay. So with me, I'm gonna put myself out there just a little. Now, I just got finished paying a piece of a loan. I'll say it like that, with the Student Loan Help Center. And so they say, as far as they're concerned, I satisfied it, so to speak. but I still, of course, have like a balance, probably like with the interest rates that it's a little high, and and it's back. They used to have that myth that after 7 years is wiped off. Like, how true or not true is that? And like, what could I do since with the Student Loan Help Center, I'm considered I've satisfied them?
So here's the thing, to kind of answer that in a couple different ways. The credit agencies, there actually is no law that the credit agencies report anything on you at all. It's really just the opposite. Credit agencies are required by law to automatically remove the derogatory items that are older than 7 years. In the case of a bankruptcy, it would be 10. However, each state has their own statute of limitations regarding derogatory items lingering on the credit report. However, sometimes you as the individual or the consumer have to do your footwork to get those items removed. Yeah. And there's a lot of times where people put the derogatory items on their credit report into a dispute status, and they don't see success with it because they're not leveraging those laws of the Fair Credit Reporting Act. And you can actually go to sbc.gov and download the laws. However, if you don't know the lingo, like a lawyer would, that law jargon, you won't understand it.
Okay.
So, to answer the other part of your question, the first thing that I would do, I would contact the U.S. Department of Education regarding your student loans, and you can see if you can try to consolidate them. There are actually 3 or 4 companies that they deal with for the consolidation of the student loans. And that's really the only thing that we ever recommend to consolidate is the student loans. However, also under our FES protection plan, we have a consolidation budget in the package, and it's called Debt Zero.
Oh, okay.
And with that Debt Zero, it actually allows you to plug in the numbers from your income in your household, and whatever bills or debt that you have that you do need to pay off, at that point in time, it allows you to plug those numbers in, get them calculated, create the budget where you can have it paid off in half the time that you would have trying to budget it on your own if you're not really a professional financial advisor. And at that point in time, it still also leaves you with your own expenditures left over, finances or monetary money or whatever for, your own expenditures. So at that point in time, now you can create yourself a situation where you won't, 1, get garnished, 2, have your income tax return taken.
Okay.
And not to get off the subject, but I wanted to kind of touch base on that when I just brought it up about your income tax return being taken, because a lot of times people file bankruptcy. And when they file bankruptcy, there's a lot of things that the bankruptcy attorneys don't tell them. 1, the bankruptcy and everything you put into the bankruptcy stays and remains on the credit report until you dispute it. 2, whether you do a Chapter 7 or a Chapter 13, sometimes once you're discharged, they then take that same debt that you were paying on and they sell it to a third-party collection company and then try to come after you again for it.
Oh, wow.
To everyone? No, it doesn't. But it happens to 90% of people. Then you also have the possibility whether, once again, it's a 7 or a 13, where your income tax return is taken. Because they want to gain the loss, the monetary loss that they had when you put those items into bankruptcy or that debt into bankruptcy.
Oh, wow.
So they want to try to recover any finances from that they can. So they take your income tax return.
Boy, they
suck you dry.
They some money gangsters.
Yes,
that's what
they is. Yes, okay. So, how long How long does the service take to see results?
Well, really, it can vary from person to person because of the inconsistencies of the credit agencies. It's very difficult to give you like a specific time frame, but I know since I've been with the company, we've seen people go from the low 500s to the mid 700s within 45 days or less. And with with others, it could also take several months. Um, However, a lot of times when you're not coachable, you don't see results. So as far as being coachable, when I say that, I just basically mean listen to directives. Because one, you also have to look at the fact when you have derogatory items in your credit report, that stuff played a factor in how your credit score is calculated. So when it's taken off, it has the possibility to raise your score. However, in some instances, it may decrease your score. So we try to show and educate people the different tools and resources that they can use to help rebuild. Because while you're going through that process, you need to rebuild.
Mm-hmm. True.
So really, it could take some people 45 days. Some people could take 90 days. Some people could take 6 months. Mm-hmm. Some people could take a year. It just really depends.
Okay. So, can the items come back on a person's credit report? You may have touched base, but I'm just kind of hitting on that.
Well, 99% of the items deleted from your credit report will not appear again. In some very small cases, for instance, a collection being sold to a new collection agency may appear under the new collection agency name because it's a whole new company reporting it. That's why with open collections or late payments, it's good to speak to your credit coach, so that way we can walk you through the best way to deal with that specific credit challenge. But the majority of the items that do get deleted will not appear again. And if it does, you also have a credit attorney in your protection plan, mm-hmm. which shows you how to sue TransUnion, Experian, and Equifax. And if you ever want to research TransUnion 2010, I believe, they actually had a class action lawsuit where they got sued for not following the laws of the Fair Credit Reporting Act. And because they were taking items off and putting items back on.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I know that they have the 3 credit reports that you just mentioned. Why is it that when people request, like I know for me personally, when I've requested all 3, like there's different credit scores? I would just think that... Go ahead, I'm sorry.
So you're saying, why do they give you a hard time when you request certain things?
No, no. Like, okay, so when I request so I can see what my credit score is on all 3 of them, I mean, I'm learning this as I go. There's different, like TransUnion has a score, Equifax has a different score, and the other one I just lost what that one. But all 3 have different credit scores, and for me, not really knowing then, I was a little confused. Like I would just, I don't know, kind of guess, call me silly. I kind of thought that they all would have the same numbers, the same credit scores. I guess that's what I'm trying to say.
Okay. Well, you have to look at it like this. TransUnion, Experian, and Equifax are all separate companies. They do not communicate with each other. They are privately held individual LLCs. So you also have to look at the fact that a lot of things that we do in life is to generate finance, to generate income. And when you go to get that score, they want you to pay for it. But because they don't communicate, they're not going to all have the same information. So just as if you went to 3 separate car lots, one of those car lots may deal with only TransUnion. One may only deal with Experian. And then you may have one that deals with TransUnion and Equifax.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So it really depends on the company, which credit agency they deal with, and the consistency and accuracy of their record keeping. So sometimes, for instance, I had a client, excuse me, I had a client that had went to go purchase a car. When he went on Credit Karma, Credit Karma told him he had a 680 credit score. However, when he went to go get the car, he was denied.
Mm-hmm.
And he basically asked them why. And they said, because you have a low credit score. You have a very low, he was in the high 400s, almost at a 500 credit score.
Mm-hmm.
He was at a 490 something. So with that being said, the items, some of the items that was on his credit report was not even his. There was a car on there that he had no clue where the car came from. Come to find out, when he went to jail, his identity had got stolen by his cousin.
Oh, yes.
There's a lot of that going on.
Okay.
You
Wow.
said, how did that happen?
No, I was just saying that's a lot of that going on. Identity theft, so much of that is going on.
Absolutely. And that's why that's another service that we provide in your protection plan. We provide you with service through LifeLock for where you're covered up to $1 million, and that also covers your attorney fees. And we actually give it to you at a wholesale price because we're partners with them.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, there's a lot of people that are not responsible. They don't check their credit report annually. Some people don't even check their credit report twice a year.
You're right. Absolutely.
However, when you get with our company, that's why we call it a protection plan, because we protect you all the way around the board. We give you your beginning score when you start, and then you also have your credit monitoring that gives you your score as you're going through the process. But not only does it give you your credit score, it gives you your auto score and your insurance score, which a lot of people are not even familiar with. Didn't even know that it existed.
That's really true, because I know when I don't believe I've recently done it, but I know when I did do it, and I'll be honest about that, I realized that there were some things on there that they weren't mine. And like, I know in the past I've had my identity stolen from me. And so that's really good that protection plan can help you, because trying to do it on my own, honestly, I gave up because it just was so overwhelming that it, like you said, it's just so much that being a consumer, we don't know.
You got to go through so many obstacles just to get all that stuff off your credit.
And it's like, it feels like you have to go through several different companies, and you're just spending money after money after money, and it just seems like it's a no-win.
Absolutely. And see, the one thing that I love about this company, because see, when I was doing my research to start restoring my credit, I called, what's the name of that company? You pay the company like $99 a month.
Oh, yes. I know who you're talking about. It begins with I think, like with a L. I can't, and I just had saw it today because
Lexington Law.
Yes,
That's the name of it,
Lexington Law. Yes.
Is that a very effective company? Is it very effective, that company that you guys speak about? Is that or they have a lot of satisfactory results with that company? Is it effective?
Now, I'm going to say this, and then when I'm done saying it, when you get some time, I want you to see with your own eyes. When I went to Lexington Law's, the Better Business Bureau, and I reviewed Lexington Law credentials, they had an F. They had well over complaints, and that was back in 2014. So there's no telling what's going on. Not only that, since I contacted them, they also consulted the umbrella name, creditrepair.com. So with that being said, you pay $99 a month. for a company that only provides you one service, you don't know what's being said on your behalf. Now, I'll give you an example. My business partner, she had a little under $500,000 worth of debt. She paid Lexington Law $99 for 2 years. With that being said, things came off her credit, came back on her credit. When she started in the 500. When she left, she was in the 400.
Wow.
She stated that she called them, asked them questions. They had no answers for her. They just kept telling her to pay her $99. They'll continue to dispute the stuff. Mind you, once again, you don't even know what's being said on your behalf. So from that lesson, she learned, why would I continue to keep paying this company $99? I don't even know if they're disputing stuff.
Right.
Because if I started with a higher score, why am I leaving with a low score? You all are not even teaching me or telling me how to rebuild my credit.
Right.
That's what's going on behalf of my name.
Right. All they do is taking her money.
So she hired that company.
Right.
That is so very true, Candace, what you're saying, because before I actually had met you through Facebook and got on the first call, one of my coworkers at that time had suggested using them, and it's not to knock them. However, what you have been saying is so right, because she had recommended them, and I had followed up and did some research, and the first thing that came out of their mouth is like, they just seem so scripted. It was $99, and I'm like, okay, so what am I getting from this? And like you said, they could not answer the few questions that I had, so
that's not good.
I was completely turned off. And the powers that be, I came into you, and I listened to your call, which you will further talk about that in a little bit, and I was just like so amazed, because it just really felt authentic. And the people who were sharing their stories on your call, it just really felt authentic, and questions were being answered honestly, whether anybody wanted to, admit like, yeah, but questions were honestly being answered, and I can respect that, because yeah, they were all about just taking your money, and that was it, bottom line.
Y'all told me all I need to know about that company now.
And it's so unfortunate, because there's other companies just like themselves, that it's just all about they tell you the dollar amount that that they're going to take out, your checking account or whatever, but then they don't do their part.
See, that's not good. You're just taking people's money, and you can't be credible that way if you're a company that just want to take people's money and there's no results. That's crazy.
Wow.
Well, see, the thing that kind of turned me off from Lexington, when I called, I asked them, how does the services work? The first thing the guy told me, and I don't remember his name, but the first thing that he told me was, well, let me collect your information.
Mm-hmm.
If your services work the same across the board, and you're able to help every individual that you come across, there's no need for you to see my information.
Right.
Because now with me learning more about credit and now becoming an expert, it's all leveraged the same way. Yeah. So why would you my information for that?
Right. So
what they do, they get your information so that way they can put you on a contact list to keep calling and texting you to ask you to join. Then after so many times, if you have joined and you say, well, I no longer want your services, or I no longer need your services, they'll ask you what's wrong. You may tell them, or what they may do is just try to negotiate a lower price with you. So
okay.
My thing is, if at that point you could have negotiated that lower price now, why couldn't I have gotten that price at that time? Why couldn't you have told me how your services worked without collecting my information?
Right, from the beginning.
And it's just basically a whole bunch of questions of why. So all I know is that I have to find a power of attorney for you to dispute letters on my behalf, to mail off dispute letters on my behalf, and I don't even know what's being said. However, with our company, you don't have that issue. We create Michigan, by our credit attorneys, and at that point in time, we then mailed it out to you the first time. Then you have the option to opt out and once you see letters, you then go over them, read them, sign them, and send them off certified mail.
Okay.
So now you know what's being said on your behalf.
Right,
Now
right.
you know what laws it is that we're using that's on your behalf for those derogatory items.
Okay.
So when you are with a company and that company is not able to give you answers and you're redirected to someone different every time, that's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is. It's inconsistency on their part.
That to me is a problem.
Right.
So now with our company, not only are you able to know what's being said on your behalf, but you also have a personal credit coach, which would be myself.
Mm-hmm.
And if I don't know something, I will be honest. I will tell you, hey, I'm not sure about that. Let me get with corporate, ask them what it is that we need to do to move forward, and I'll get back with you.
That's
Or let me ask one of my team members, one of the other experts that has been where we're trying to go or where we're at, and let with you. So that way you're dealing with someone who kind of knows your situation, knows what's going on with you. You're not talking to 50 different people anytime you have a question, and you don't have that option to even be able to say, well, when I talked to Mary Sue, she told me this. Then now Bob told me that, and now you're telling me this.
Right.
You have direct contact with your own personal credit coach, along with your own personal portal that you can log into 24/7, 365.
See, that's wonderful, cause I mean that's a like it keeps your mind at ease. It takes a load off, so you don't have to do it by yourself, and that's great that you know that people can have a credit coach to kind of guide them through, far as rebuilding their credit. That's awesome to me.
And the key
We've been there,
Yeah.
so we know what to do.
Right. Because you have the experience, and then plus like Jay said, you're authentic. You're not trying to be other than or trying to scam anybody out of any money, you know. So
Absolutely.
and also, like what I like is that you always say, again, when I've been on the calls, it's both parties, you being the coach, doing your part, and the consumer doing their part. And like you said, they have to be coachable, because if a person is not coachable, it's a waste of time.
Yep.
You can't have one party, one person,
Doing all the work.
doing all the work while they're just sitting back, and then they'll get upset, and
when you don't give them, I mean, when they're not expecting what you thought that you would do, but you can only do but so much. They have to put their leg work in as well.
Absolutely. And the good thing that I love, I have some clients that are very coachable. Like, I have 2 clients that call me at least twice a week. At most, maybe 3 times a week. And both of them are females. And they really are so active with what's going on, because we do the 95% of the work. We just ask you to do 5. Part of that is educating yourself. We provide those resources to do that. Not only that, but your credit coach also provides the information as well. As you spoke about our call earlier, we have a call every Tuesday that we hold called our credit education call. And it helps to educate you, not just necessarily for your purposes, but sometimes it's not about you. It could be about someone else. And a lot of times this information isn't taught at home. It's not taught in schools. So when you come across that information, don't be stingy where you're not willing to share it. And I'll tell anyone, you never know who's silently suffering.
That's true.
Very
Very
true.
true.
Your coworker driving a Benz, guess what? Your coworker could be paying 24.9% interest rate on that Benz, when he or she could be paying 1% on that band or
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
2.9% on that band.
Yep. You never know what a person's going through at all.
Someone could have a band, but their home is going into foreclosure.
Mm-hmm.
So, you never know who's sufferingly um, silently. And that's what we like to call being a private mess, but a public success.
Okay. Hmm.
Got a nice ring to it. Okay. Now, as far as with your business, concerning credit and how you help consumers with their credit, can you guarantee it will work?
Excuse me. Well, we can't just come out and say we guarantee it'll work, but what we can say is two things. Number one, the majority of our clients who follow the system and work with our customer service team or credit coach definitely achieve positive credit improvement and does see results with being coachable. Then number two, we provide a satisfactory money back guarantee. So basically, we get to tell our clients they have nothing to lose other than less than perfect credit. And, that would be the same for you or anybody else having nothing to lose but less than perfect credit. And obviously, that's what that person will want.
Okay. Okay.
So what has been like one of your worst case scenarios with working with a consumer?
The worst case scenario I've seen was a gentleman who had been with the services for a year and a half. He stopped in the middle of the program because he didn't want to go mail his letters out. He said that he got tired of going to the post office.
Wow.
And one of the biggest things that, I explained to him was basically, once again, you need to know what's being said on your behalf. Two, I told him, hey, I could send the letters out for you, but that's going to cost, and I'm not trying to be funny or try to, go into people's pockets, but my time is not free.
Yeah.
And my car doesn't run on air, it runs on gas.
I know that's right.
So I would have to charge you for that. Now,
Yeah.
for example, when you send that stuff certified mail, I know here in Ohio, it's like $3
Mm-hmm.
per letter.
Okay.
So if I do that for you, you still have to sign it, but it's going to cost you.
Mm-hmm.
And rightfully
So
so.
he was just like, well, huh?
And I said, and rightfully so. You should charge. That's your time and energy.
Exactly. So he was just basically like, well, I'm just going to, let it go. I'll try to figure it out on my own. I'll get my credit together myself. He waited about maybe, and this is all within that year and a half span. He waited about maybe 4 months, and he saw he wasn't getting anywhere. So he gave me a call back, and he signed back up with the services. And I want to say maybe 6.5, 7 months after that, he got a 757 credit score.
Okay.
And he was able to get a $15,000 Discover limit.
That's what's up.
So what is a doable credit score?
Well, to get the best interest rate, best room for negotiation, to be able to get the lowest prices or where you get free stuff, you need to be at a 740 or higher. The credit score ranges from starting at 350 all the way up to 850. So on the credit score grid, when you're at a 740 or higher, you are considered to have excellent credit.
Okay, that's interesting. Okay.
Cool. Now, as far as with your credit services, how much does it cost to enter into
Well,
that?
you get 12 services. Some of them we did go throughout the call, and just to go over a couple, again, in case of someone is just now joining in, you get your core service, which is the credit restoration. You also get a living will and trust with a medical and financial power of attorney. You get a credit attorney. You get your credit monitoring. You get your identity protection. And then you get 7 other services, and that's all for $87 a month. And you also have an option to be able to get those services for free if you wanted to refer 5 people.
Okay.
Okay, I hear some business opportunities coming on in here.
Right.
Okay. So 87, it never goes up. It's just a flat 87
rate.
A month?
Flat rate, $87 to start, then $87 per month.
Okay.
As far as contract, there's no contract that you're locked into or binded to. There's no time frame as to when you stop. It's just basically when you feel as though that you no longer are in need of the services, you feel that you have done, just due for what it is that you wanted, then you're able to contact our corporate office, which is provided to you when you're signed up with the services, that information, and then you can have those services stopped. We're not going to keep calling you, hey, you want to sign back up. We're not going to try to beg you or try to, convince you why you need to stay or any of that nature. If that's what you want to do and move forward in life, we wish you the best.
Okay. That's just it's very much to the point, which I can definitely respect that.
Definitely. A lot of people can respect that. And that's why you Shero. Saving the day with people credit.
Well, you got to think, everybody's mindset is not set the same. So, unfortunately, even, when we let people know why it's so valuable and why it's so important for them to have the services, some people is just tunnel vision. They have a tunnel vision, and they don't see past anything else. For example, I had a young lady that called me a few weeks ago and told me that she felt $87 a month was unaffordable or unattainable for her to be able to pay every month. However, when I asked her, well, what is it that you're trying to achieve by getting excellent credit? What is it that you're trying to get? She said that she wanted to get a new car and purchase a home. And I just asked her, I said, well, let me ask you this. When you purchase your home, God forbid something goes wrong, your furnace goes out, how much does that cost? And she was like, well, anywhere from probably about $200 to $400. I said, okay. I said, if your car breaks down, and just say, for instance, it's a really expensive part, maybe like your alternator, or you may need a valve gasket changed or something of that nature, how much do you think that's going to cost with parts and labor? She said, if backyard mechanic could probably be cheap, but if I had to go to the shop, it's going to cost me over $100. I said, okay, so if you purchase your home and you got to replace a portion of your roof because of a leak, or even your whole roof, how much would that be? And she was like, well, I don't know. I just know it's a few $1,000s. I said, okay, so do you mean to tell me that you restoring your credit for $87 a month is not worth it? I said, if you can afford $87, that's even more the reason why you need to restore your credit.
Yep, she sure do. I mean, that's no money. That's really like your life. I mean, we talking about trying to get an apartment, get a car, and all sorts of other things. Those are the essential things you need. That's not more important.
Well, the thing about credit now, people don't even realize, in order to keep a job a lot of times, or even to get a job, you have to have excellent credit.
Yes, you do. Mm-hmm.
In order to rent, you have to have good credit.
Yep.
Even with those, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Huh?
No, I was just going to say.
When you go to call on and turn on your light and your gas, they do a credit check. That's how they're able to come up with the rates that they give you when they read that BTU meter and the kilometer meter every month, or give you an estimated reading.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's how they get the automatic charge rate that they give you every month in order to bill your light and gas bill. When I called and I had them recall my car insurance, I saved $111 for full coverage on 2 vehicles. I was paying almost $300 something per month for car insurance.
Wow.
That is a lot.
It
Wow.
is. I mean, golly. Yeah,
I,
so
Me and my husband, we had bad credit.
Right.
yeah. So they will charge you more.
Not to mention, he had a few points on his license, so that also inflated the rates as well.
Right.
Don't get me wrong. But when you can put $111 back in your pocket, do you know that's a dinner date for me?
I know that.
Or that's gas for about 2 weeks for me. So definitely give me that $111.
Right.
I need it.
Yeah, you saving money. I mean, that's the logical thing. I mean, that's definitely the best outlook to look at it as. I mean, why would you not want to invest $87 to repair your credit if you're gonna spend your money all on these other things that cost way more than $87? You might as well go ahead and spend the $87. What's the difference?
But you know something? When you have a poverty-stricken mindset and you can't see past what you've learned, it's so hard for it to be unlearned.
Yeah, true.
And I don't know if you've ever heard this saying, you can take the person out of the ghetto, but you can't take the ghetto out of the person.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
And that's how our mindset is, not necessarily ghetto, but the fact that people are so financially strapped that they become kind of leery to do anything.
But they're financially
it's not
strapped on
necess-
what they want to be strapped on. To be honest with you, they financially strapped on what they want to be strapped on. Like they pick and choose what they want to pay on.
True, but if you can't see past what you've already learned, that's just like, as I stated earlier in the call, I didn't know nothing about credit. So when somebody used to tell me to go pay something off, I went and paid it off. But I later learned that was the wrong thing to do. When you pay off an old collection, you've now opened up an age debt. You've reopened up an age debt. So that, guess what? Drops your score. And I wasted money because I gave my money to somebody who I don't even owe it to.
True.
And had I not known that now, I would still be doing it.
Yeah.
Or sometimes people get intimidated because of titles. So that's just like, say for instance that you were my client and I said, you called me, you said, hey, I got a letter in the mail from a third-party collection company that say I owe $10 for an old medical bill on a copay. Should I pay this back? And I tell you no. But now they sent you another letter saying, well, if you don't pay this back, then we're going to call you or something, just something that may intimidate you.
Yeah, they want to threaten you.
Shook up.
Yeah.
And you decided you're going to pay it. But that's because of the mindset that you already had, and now you're not trusting what I'm telling you.
Right. True.
So it's kind of hard sometimes when we're dealing with clients to deprogram their minds for them to understand and let them know, we know what we know because we were where you were at. Now you're trying to get where we're at. So you have to kind of take heed to what we're saying.
Yeah.
Because we didn't get this far if we didn't know what we were talking about.
Right.
We didn't stay open this long if we didn't know what we were talking about.
Absolutely. That's so true. Yeah, all thing they need to do is shut up and listen and do what's said. Because, I mean, you got
I wish everybody thought of that.
I mean, you got the experience. What they going to tell you? They don't know. So, I mean, what is there else to say but just, like you said, take heed to what you're saying and follow instructions and everything will be all right, And don't have that mindset of fear. Like, everything is not in their control. You control it.
Right. Well, I had a guy one day that called me, and basically he kept telling me what I was going to do.
Oh, wow.
And I'll be honest, I'm not the type, I'm very professional and I'm very humble. However, I can kill kill you with kindness. And he kept trying to not necessarily tell me what I was going to do, but he just kept trying to tell me. So, I had to break it down to him, and I asked him, I said, what was the intention when you signed up with our services? And he said, to get my credit fixed. I said, so if you knew what you knew, why did you sign up with our services? He said, because I didn't know what to do. I said, you should keep that in mind and let me do my part and what I'm doing to help you.
Wow.
Because if you knew that, then that means that you shouldn't be talking to me.
Right.
So are you going to keep telling me, or are you going to let me explain something to you?
Right. They're trying your life like that, like you don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, that there, he don't need to do that. He just need to be humble and just really intake everything you're saying. That's going to help him in the future. That's all he need to do.
I think one of the funniest things that I've experienced I think that situation was actually one of the funniest things that I experienced. I have another client. He's crazy. He sent me a lot of people, but like one day he just went off on me like, my score's up, and you didn't do this, and you didn't do that, and you didn't do this. I said, what? He said, you told me don't something. I said, you can't even remember what I told you. So that tells me that you didn't do what I told you to do. And then we kind of reflected and went back over his credit report, and we looked. And he paid 2 bills late. So, and a credit coach, we're going to get to the bottom of it and walk you through things to help you kind of get back on track, stay on track, and remember things. But he completely forgot about that. He said, I didn't even know I paid it late. I thought those was the dates that they were due on. I said, so you also have to make sure that you log into your personal profile and keep up with your stuff. I said, because I don't live with you. I don't go your wallet. I don't go get your mail. I don't do none of that.
True.
So you have to make sure that you keep up with your stuff.
Yes, he a grown man.
And once he saw what was going on, he apologized to me and sent me 2 clients.
Wow.
So I was happy about that.
That is funny. So what is, I know you told me kind of like the highest score. What's been like the lowest score that you've had to work with as far as one of your consumers or clients?
I didn't hear that question. I'm sorry.
What has been one of the lowest scores that you've had to work with as far as your client or consumer?
Okay.
And like, what's the worst? Well, I don't want to say the worst case scenario, but like the lowest score that you've had to like really really get into it, like really help them. Like it's like
life or death.
I think it was like a 369.
Okay.
360 something. And basically, the person didn't really have any credit. They had a couple, like 2 small miscellaneous things on their credit report, which that is not necessarily the case of the matter at hand on what's on your credit report, but they had nothing in place to help rebuild. They didn't have any kind of credit cards. They didn't have a car note. They didn't have a house note. They didn't have anything. They had, I believe it was a light bill, and it was a, what did he have? It was a light bill and a medical bill. It was 2 bills. No, it was a light bill and a cell phone bill. And he didn't have any kind of evolving credit. He didn't have any kind of evolving credit. He didn't even have past credit. He had no car note. He had no credit card. He didn't have a house note. He didn't have anything. So, we disputed those two items, but we also showed him the proper tools and resources to help him rebuild his credit score. And one of those tools that we helped him utilize is our program that we use to report your rent. In most cases, your rent isn't reported unless if you get evicted.
Right.
Yeah.
However, we're able to get your rent reported as a trade line and help boost your credit score.
That's good to know.
Right.
That's good to know. That's good to know. Yes, Uno's pointing at me because I have one of those. Unfortunately, and like I said, I'm putting myself out here a little bit, but that's okay because my goal is to work with you and get my credit up to a great number so that I can be able to do more things, in life. So I have one of those little nasty evictions, unfortunately, and it is difficult trying to find, a decent place. And I know here in Atlanta, I'm not sure as far as where you're at, but they have like the second chance homes or the second chance apartments, I should say. And I'm not knocking anything. It's unfortunate because I don't want those. I don't want that area. I don't want the places. But, people, I guess, do what they have to do in circumstances or whatever, or definitely, according to, their money that they have. But I don't know. Everybody doesn't want more, or maybe people are scared, or like you said, a lot of people question, like, why does it cost that much? But in the long term of it, it has long term benefits.
Yes, it saves you a lot of money,
and you're getting educated as well.
Absolutely. And see, the good thing that I love about not just our company, I would say, but the fact of the people that I'm able to be around. I'm able to be around like-minded people. And with me being here in Cleveland, Ohio, I travel all over. I've been to Atlanta.
Okay.
I've been to Maryland. I've been to Detroit. I've been to Vegas. I've been to Chicago. So,
right.
For me, a lot of times when I come into different states or different cities, it's people that know me that I don't even know. And they're like, oh, I follow you on Facebook or I follow you on Instagram. And it's not that I love that they follow me, but I love the fact that I can help be a blessing to someone because I was blessed.
Absolutely.
And I love the fact that we're able to provide services all over because everyone needs to know about this. Everyone needs to get educated. I really feel I'm about to go in kind of two different scenarios with this, but it comes back. And I may sound crazy or weird to people, so please excuse me if I do. But
it's okay.
I feel that when someone kills someone, they don't feel or they don't understand this person is not coming back. The majority of deaths that we've had in society today, outside of hatred or because of not having notoriety or because of gang violence, most of it has come from theft.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel that if we had a better outcome of people having their credit in order, we would not have the circumstances of home invasion, of people being robbed, shot, stabbed, and killed.
That's a good way to look at it. That's a different perspective. That you have a valid point on that, actually.
So when I, talk about it, I'm passionate about it, and I'm passionate because not only because I know it works, but because I know that you can do it. It's not unobtainable.
Mm-hmm.
It's very, very close in arm's length reach. And there are so many people that don't really get it.
Mm-hmm.
But that's where we come in to help them get it. One of my clients, I had a meet with him the other day so that he can do his living will and trust. And he called me crazy. And then he told me, he said, I like where I'm at though. And I love you as my credit coach because you're hard. You stay on my back. And I said, what you mean by that? And I just wanted to kind of get some feedback. So I said, what you mean by that? I said, I'm crazy. He said, yeah, in a good way though.
Mm-hmm.
I said, oh. I said, okay, so what do you mean by that? He said, because you cared about something that I had no idea about. And he said that you're funny. He said, you always have a good outcome to try to make out of a bad situation. Because I do. I try to look at the good before I look at the bad. Even though it could be something bad going on, I have to look at the good from it.
Yeah.
Or else I would go crazy.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be no good to nobody.
That's true.
Right.
Because if you putting out that negative energy, it's going to rub off on everyone else.
Exactly. And I'm a true believer, what you speak into existence will appear.
That's true.
Whether
That's
it's
very
today,
true.
Tomorrow or next week.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to come.
Yeah.
Because you put it in the atmosphere.
Yeah. That's universal law.
So,
you can't beat it.
So when I as I talked to him and our conversation progressed even more, he was just like, I think you care more about my credit than I did. But now that I talked to you and you helped me learn things and understand things better, I've learned to care a great deal about my credit. And he said, and I care even more now because now I'm about to get rid of it. He should be done with the services very soon. He's in the 700s. He's just not at a 740.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think he's like a 713.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
That's good. Shoot.
Yeah. Like I said, you wonderful coaches can do so much. You say that you guys do 95% of the work, and then we as consumers do 5%. So that's not a lot to ask for. And you're right. We don't think about those things. I know for a long time I didn't think about a living will. It wasn't taught to me. I didn't think about it. But now, I mean, it's something seriously for us to think about, the living will. I mean, yeah, having your credit together is very necessary, and it's very...
Uh-oh.
I think we got disconnected. Hopefully she'll call back. But we were on the phone with Candis, the credit Shero.
Call back, Candis Johnson. We got cut off.
So we were really, if you were listening in the whole time or just kind of tuning in, we were talking about how to fix your credit, how to repair it. This wonderful service called FES that she's a part of. She has her own business with it. She's a credit repair. You have to be willing to be coachable and listen. Because in that case, what is the purpose of you even wanting,
Her services.
her services, or for that matter, anybody's services, So
Yeah.
you have to be coachable and you have to listen.
Be humble.
And be humble because they're trained, they have experience, not only professionally, but personally.
Right. There you go.
I believe she's back.
All right, now, here we go. You there, Candis?
Sorry about that.
That's
That's
okay.
that's all
That's
right.
okay. We were just kind of doing a little follow up with what you were saying, and you were speaking about the living will and things like that. That is so important. And like you were talking about one of your clients, how he said in the beginning that you seemed like you cared more than he did, but because he was humble and listened and he was coachable, now he cares about his credit, and for the rest of his life, like he has gotten educated so that he doesn't have to be scammed by these other, organizations that are not so-called, that just all they want to do is take your money and they don't have any type of answer. And they just sound like they kind of scripted anyway, to be honest with you, to me, from my personal experience.
Ugh.
Oh, you sound just like me.
Like,
But you know something? Sometimes when somebody doesn't really understand something too clear enough, they don't see it.
Mm-hmm.
True.
But once you break it down to them and you kind of give them that straight and narrow, because I try to be a very straightforward person. I'm very tactful, but I'm very straightforward.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to be because if you sugarcoat it when it comes to this, and that person doesn't understand it properly and they do something wrong, guess who's not doing what they're supposed to do as a credit coach?
On your end, you.
Absolutely.
So that impacts them, which then impacts me and my business.
Right. And you know, your credibility is at stake. You know, if you're not doing your part.
Absolutely.
And you know how word of mouth can be. The minute it always seems not always, but it tends to be like if you've done something wrong on your part, you know, our mouths can run and we can spread it, and it just gets all out of control.
Right.
The story is so far twisted, is crazy.
Then nobody want to mess with you. Now
Right.
you all out there that you a bad person, don't know what they're doing.
And they'll be like, oh, well, she's just like the rest of all these other places that we've tried out. She just wants our money.
But you know something, also, you have to take accountability. And I've had that situation happen where someone called me and told me that they didn't get their results back from the credit agencies, TransUnion, Experian, and Equifax, or what you like to call the big three.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, well, what was the date that you mailed out your letter? And she said, I mailed them out almost 2 months ago. She went, got her receipt, because when you send it off certified mail, you get a tracking number and you receive a receipt.
Right.
And the tracking number is on that receipt. So and it was almost 2 months ago. I said, well, do you get your mail every day? She said, yeah. I said, well, do you open your mail every day? She said, no. I said, where do you keep your mail? On the kitchen counter.
Oh, no, she didn't.
Okay, so are you at home? Yeah. Can you go to your kitchen counter for me? Okay. I said, do you see any envelopes that are blank and just have your name on it, no returned information? She said, yeah, I have 2 right here. I said, do me a favor and open those 2 up. There was her result.
Bless her heart.
I mean, how you just...
Wow.
You have to have some accountability on your behalf, because you're accusing me of lying about something, because that's where that conversation went to.
Mm-hmm.
But I had to redirect her.
Yeah, because that was a misunderstanding. That could have went somewhere else. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's true. That's true.
So once she understood and realized, now I see why you told me to get my mail, check it every day. I'm going to start doing that. I said, thank you.
You got to stay consistent.
And just to piggyback off of what you were saying about, you know, when someone does something wrong, they'll tell the whole world. Yeah, they will. But when you do something right, they'll only tell 2 people.
On 2 people. You're so right.
Yep.
So right. So a couple questions that consumers might, one. Well, I'm going to ask this because I'm just curious. You may have already touched on it, and if you did, that's okay. Nothing wrong with just kind of reiterating. What is a charge-off, and how does a consumer remove or fix that on their credit report?
A charge-off is basically a collection that has went into debt. It's been charged off of the original creditor's account. So, example, if you have a car, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that car went into repossession status. The account, well, it really depends on the finance company. The account could go into default for 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, 6 months. And eventually that debt is charged off. So at that point, once it's charged off, they can sell it to that third-party collection company to purchase. But the official term, I was just trying to break it down. The official definition or term for a charge-off is basically the declaration by a creditor that an amount of a debt is unlikely to be collected. And it basically occurs when a consumer becomes severely delinquent on a debt. And really, traditionally, creditors will make it their declaration at that point of 6 months without payment.
Okay.
But then, that goes back to what I said. It could be 30 days, it could be 60 days, 90 days, or 6 months. It really depends on that company's policy.
Okay.
So with your credit services, is this legal and legit?
Anything derogatory on a credit report, whether it's a charge-off, a late payment, a medical bill, judgment, a foreclosure, a repo, a garnishment, library stuff, ticket, child support, student loans, it doesn't matter what it is. We can put it all into dispute status. At that point in time, once we dispute it, then it has that potential or possibility to be able to be deleted or updated into a positive status to show paid as agreed. I have a client that has 4 separate student loans. She never paid a dime on them, and all 4 of them say paid as agreed.
Okay. Okay.
I would have to go, and I actually, I have it on my post somewhere on Instagram and Facebook. I would have to kind of go back a little bit far to find that post, but I can actually tag you in the post once I find it.
Oh, definitely,
Okay.
definitely, because I am forever supportive, even though not yet that I'm not affiliated yet. But the more and more I get on the calls, which you'll follow that up again with our listeners, the more and more I'm inspired. And I know a lot of times also with us, fear definitely plays a factor in things. I can speak for me again. Fear sometimes plays a factor, but when you think of your life, you have to, whatever means it is, chant, pray, meditate, do whatever you need to do, and put your faith into action.
Well, you took the words right out of my mouth.
and do what you need to do for yourself. And this not only affects yourself, but it affects your family, your children, your husband, partner, significant other, whatever the case may be. And you have to think more so on a long term, and instead, well, for me, long term versus a short term. Because yes, my goal is to have purchased a house and have that car and be able to do those things, have financial freedom, where if you want to pick up and you want to go travel somewhere, okay, I can do that without having to worry about things and count coins and well, let me borrow from this place, and life is to live, have,
Absolutely. But it's your given birthright to have extra credit. And
absolutely.
To be free. And, when I tell you I've talked to so many different walks of life, and not just from this, because I was a pharmacy tech before I even did this.
Oh, I was too. Oh, okay.
So, when I came into this, I really had to redirect my thought process. Not just my mindset, but my thought process. Because I came from corporate America.
Mm-hmm.
2, I had a different kind of lifestyle that I'm dealing with now. Because even though your health is personable, your credit is too.
Yeah.
And I had a guy call me, and no, he didn't call me, I'm sorry. He actually put a post. I was posting in a group somewhere, and he put a comment under the post, and he basically said that this is garbage. Credit is empowered by the white man and by the government, and use some form of to basically say I'm stupid for doing what I do.
Wow.
I don't even remember I don't even think he know the word that he put on there. And I think he was just trying to sound educated. I don't know. But
that would have sounded like he trying to sound educated and what's that? He's probably one of them pro-black people, huh?
but he overdid it. And
Yeah.
they once again it goes back to your mindset.
Yes.
You know, he basically just down not just me, but anything dealing with credit. And at that point, when I deal with a person that's like that, I don't even try to get them to understand anything because their mind is already set. It's a battle that you're going to lose each time, and I'm not going to exert energy into someone who's not willing to learn.
Right, because
So,
no one knows
you guys
everything.
understand. You use credit every day. Do you cut on lights?
Yep.
Do you use hot water or gas or cook
Mhm.
on a stove?
Yep.
That's a gas stove or oven.
Yep.
You use gas every day. I mean, credit every day.
Yep. Whether either if he own a house and pay a mortgage, or if he does not, he rents an apartment. That's credit. So I don't know. People set in their ways.
I look at it like this. How could I care more about you than you care about you?
Yeah, that don't make no sense.
I can, but it's not going to do me no good.
No, because that's taken away from yourself.
Huh?
It takes away from yourself, like focusing on you.
Right. So if you don't care about yourself enough to get yourself in order, why should I?
True.
I'm not going to beg you. I'm not going to bug you. I'm not going to bother you. I'm not going to keep exerting energy into you. I will walk away before I do that. Set your pride to the side. Even set my dignity to the side at that point.
Right.
But at some point, I got to use my head and my common sense. And I had to learn that common sense isn't common to everyone. So the things that I know, the things that I understand, the things that I've invested in to learn, I had to look at it from a different side. I had to flip the coin. They don't know credit how you do. They don't know what you know about anything. So for them to have gone along in this path for such a very long time, it's going to be hard to deprogram them. It's going to be hard to be at a point or hold a conversation with them about something that they probably could care less about. They just want to have something to say.
Right. Everybody wants a voice. Social media is that platform. Everybody's thinking they're somebody.
Yeah. Everybody want to be important.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to be important. Everyone is important. But guess what? You're important to you.
Right. You can't.
So the things that you hold to face value doesn't mean that I have to. And I'll kind of give you an example. I know this is kind of like a stupid example, but it's just simple. It's very simple. A lady earlier today, I'm driving down the street. It's a truck in front of me. I'm not the type of person that drives, like, on the back of somebody like that, like somebody walking on the back of your heels. But I was kind of close to this car because we were on a freeway. The car wanted to get over. I am not obligated to let you over just because you put on a blinker.
Okay.
It's a car that's right knee deep in my tail. So if I would have braked, they would have hit the back of me.
Yeah.
I couldn't slow down. We're like not neck and neck, but
Too
the
close.
car was a little bit ahead of me, and I'm in the middle by like the driver door. But the other car is kind of close to me, where they can't even fit in to get over. So I would have had to slow down to let them over. And the lady just gave me this look like I aggravated her or did something wrong. I'm not obligated to let you over. So my point to that saying is, I'm not obligated to have you as an importance to me. But what's important to me is that you get this knowledge and you use it. And you know that saying, knowledge is power? Well, it is, but it's only power when it's applied. I have all the knowledge in the world.
Right.
It's like what they call a professional student.
Right. But if you're not putting it to
have
good use, what good is
thousands
it?
of degrees, but
Right.
have no job.
What is that, like an educated fool?
Yeah, that's what it sounds like to me.
I I don't know. I'm just saying. I don't. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I hear where you're coming from, Candace. Yeah, definitely.
So what's important to you may not be important to me, as vice versa,
Right.
and I don't expect it to.
Because everybody has their own mind. You can't. Everybody can't agree on the same thing. That just make the world boring. If everybody agreed on the same thing. And so the Creator has created everyone to have their own mind and think how they think. And people, I just feel like people need to respect where people are at. And I mean, come to some
Absolutely.
come to some common ground where y'all both sides can get an understanding and go about your business. But it just doesn't make sense for people to try to get you to convert to what they believe or whatever else it is. It's just crazy.
But you know something? There's a lot of times where I just sit back and I just listen. I don't say anything. And it hurts me to know that our community, our heritage, our nationality they limit themselves.
Yeah.
So
They
very
limit
true.
themselves from so much.
Yeah. True.
And it baffles me to, like I was saying, how that guy had kept telling me everything instead of listening.
Mm-hmm.
It baffles me that so many people know so much, but they're not moving and getting anywhere.
True.
It's just like I was saying about the professional students. You have all these degrees, but you have no job. And I'm not saying that to down anyone. I'm saying that to say that there are so many people that limit themselves from the abilities that's already within.
Right.
And
You just have to go out there and open open the abilities that you possess, because you're here for a purpose. So put it to good use.
right,
I definitely agree with what you're saying. Absolutely.
right. But a lot of times when I see that, I don't know, I try to bring something out of them. And it's not necessarily to be judgmental. It's not to be critical or criticize anyone about anything. It's just more so because at some point we have to start learning the difference between whatever it is that's going on. And just like when I was talking about when the person had, if they was to call and I would tell them, they called and say, should I pay this bill? And I say no, but then they do it anyway because they're so programmed to do things the old way, their way, and now we're trying to help deprogram their old bad habits. It's just, sometimes it's impossible. And maybe it could be because it's with me. I don't know. Because my expertise is not as a psychologist or a psychiatrist. But the difference is that when someone knows something, that's something you can never take away from them. So you have to, at some point, adhere to what they're saying.
True.
Like I said, this person didn't get to where they are if they didn't know what they were doing. So when you take yourself out of the equation from trying to, quote-unquote, know it all, then you will be able to be successful in what it is that you're trying to achieve. So a lot of times that's what we have to redirect our finances to, basically.
True.
Okay. So, let the listeners know how to reach you again, and what are some business opportunities.
Well, I am on Instagram at Candis _the credit Shero. No, Candis _ the credit _Shero. And that's CAND as in David IS. The credit is just how it sounds, and Shero is just how it sounds. I'm also on Facebook at Candis Johnson. Once again, that's Candis. And I'm also on LinkedIn as Candis Johnson. Or you can contact me personally via telephone at 216-240-6644.
Okay. And tell us about that Tuesday night call again.
We have a credit education call that comes on every Tuesday except for major holidays at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And the information to be able to join that call is 518-530-1840. And the meeting ID is 378-005776, and then the pound key.
Cool.
Okay. And that's every Tuesday except for major holidays, you said, correct? You
Yes.
did? Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, now as far as if someone was interested in being a credit agent, if that's the correct word, how would they go about doing that?
Basically, they can get in contact with me. I can send them the information. Always looking to expand in different regions. One of the people that brought me in definitely expressed and showed, that we definitely need people all over. We are definitely looking to expand in all different regions. So give me a call, shoot me a text, send me a DM or an inbox, and I will get you the information.
Okay. And then you said, again, just kind of reiterating, just make sure that people know if they're interested in going with you and you becoming their coach. And you said they can join for $87, and then it's $87 a month?
As a client, yes.
As a client.
It's $87 to start with 12 services. If you need or want more information about that, definitely get in contact with me. I can send you that information as well. If we need to have a discussion, we can do that as well to discuss your situation. If you're thinking about bankruptcy, or you may have a foreclosure or going through a foreclosure currently, or you're contemplating consolidation, give me a call. We definitely can help you.
Okay. And that's from any state, any state, any city? Like you said, you're just looking to branch out more?
Correct.
Okay.
That's why we need more agents, so that way we can get this information out there.
Okay.
Like I said, we're looking to expand in different regions, so that people can be aware of our protection plan. People can be financially protected and have their lifestyle protected all the way around the board.
Okay. And you were speaking about something else as well, the referral. Now, do you have, in order to, like, I guess, get that 87 possibly taken care of, you have to join in, how do I want to say this?
If someone wanted to become a referral agent, they just didn't want to work the business, but they still want to get the benefits, but it may be a costly investment to them. They do have the option to refer people and get their services for free. And if I may add also, even as a referral agent, or as an agent that's working the business, this is a highly tax deductible business because you're a home-based business owner, and it gives you a little bit more tax itemizations and write-off because of the different natures and things that you do in this business.
Okay.
So I would highly recommend it, even if you didn't want to do it for anything else, but to get the services for free and have great itemizations and tax deductions. I would definitely look into it.
Okay. That sounds good. So, what does Candace the Shero?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, I should
Candace, the
know.
credit she wrote?
Yes, I should
Credit
know
Shero.
this. I'm sorry, Candace. I really should know this. Let me stop acting. Yes. So, what future plans, or what can we expect from you in the near future? What is some goal? What is like a goal you're working on?
A goal that I am currently working on is becoming a millionaire.
All right.
All right.
Also,
Drop up.
I am opening a new LLC, general contracting, construction company 2017. To go along with
Oh.
this business, because I like to stay busy.
All
like
right. I know that's
I like
right.
helping people.
You go, girl.
That
Okay
is
now.
awesome, awesome, awesome. Wow. Yes, yes, yes. Well, we definitely, Candace, appreciate you so much. I know people were listening. I know it. And they
I
got
was definitely glued in.
Yes, I was zoned in myself. I look forward to.
I wasn't being one of those ignorant consumers, not taking what you say and think I know it all. I'm sitting here listening and taking this all the information, and it was just very informal. And we appreciate you being on the show.
Absolutely, and I definitely look forward to working with you in the near future, because like I said, a big part of mine was the fear, but I have to put my faith into action, and I have to move forward. If I want to see greatness, I have to do the work as well. So I definitely appreciate you again, and thank you so much for getting on this call and educating us as well as those that were using our resources, the app and the streaming live and all of that wonderful stuff. We definitely appreciate you. And perhaps maybe sometime in 2017, we would love to kind of do a follow-up with you to see where you were at with this LLC that I'm claiming. It's not mine, but that's okay. I'm claiming it for you and other ventures that you may tap into as well.
Yeah, peace and blessings to you. I wish you well, sister.
Thank you so much, ladies. It was a pleasure being on the show. I would love to be a guest again. I look forward to working with you both, and I definitely wish you the best on your endeavors. I'll make sure I keep you all in my prayers for your endeavors to blossom and become a part of the universe instead of just being in the atmosphere.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I
And if
received
there's,
that.
Anything that you all need, feel free to reach out to me. You do have my contact information directly.
Yes.
Yes.
I will be reaching out. Believe that. But that credit.
And I definitely look forward to having a successful, blessed 2017 for all involved.
Absolutely.
The same for you as well.
And I say ashe and amen on that one. Yes,
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 ma'am.
most definitely. So thank you so much. We're going to end this call now, and we just appreciate you.
All right. Thank you, ladies. You all have a wonderful evening.
You
All
do
right,
the
you
same.
too.
Thank you.
Good night. Bye-bye.
Good night. So that was such an awesome call. Oh my gosh, getting your credit fixed and repaired, and
I learned so
becoming
much.
just having the knowledge and breaking from that fear and learning to be humble and listen and be coachable. That's so very important, just not only with the credit repair, but just in life in general. So we're going to make sure that we have that information provided on our social media. And so now we're going to get into some music.
Yeah. Take me to the truth. Take me home with you. Change my taste in you. I'm falling, make me rise with you. I'm surprised you do. Your looks like a river bay. I seen better days, yeah. In my soul you penetrate. I need your energy. Yeah, vibrations make me levitate. Sipping Hennessy, reading bell hooks. She just saying, I'm surprised you do. Baby, I won't lie to you. I love you. I'm your guy who's new. Hide me from the blue. I'm dying on the moon, and I just need. Baby, you are so unusual, like cutting cuticles, but that is just what makes you beautiful. Like watching tulips grow, and when you walk, it's in slow motion, baby. Why you moving slow? And when you talk, I got my lasers on you like a UFO. Girl, your eyes are like the open sea, this simple poetry. This whole generation, OMG, I see it soul is older. We should build a city overseas. This country kinda cold. I mean, they feed the children dopamine and leave them on the sofa. I need someone to renounce with, whoa. Ice bucket challenge in the fountain, whoa. Chance of finding you 1 in 100,000, whoa, whoa. I just wanna kiss you on the mountain, whoa. I might bend the rules, 'cause I'm in love with you. You can't see the truth. I will show you soon. Just meet me on the moon. She say love is a strong word, say love is a strong word. Well, I'ma sing it for you, baby, I'll be your songbird. If we don't have no loving, how we supposed to move onward? A brother just got shot because he stopped on the wrong curb. If love is a strong word, love is a strong word. But we need lots of loving if we wanna move onward. And I'ma sing it to you, baby, I'll be your songbird. But I'ma keep it honest with you, I won't lie to you. My pride dies with you.
Seems I've lost the track of time, 'cause suddenly the day turned to night. Must have had my head in the skies. This happens to me every time. Now imagine that you are mine, and again I started flying high. Oh. All my friends shouting down below, girl, you should come back home. Too much when you're alone, but I'm floating too high in the clouds. I can't hear a sound. Don't wanna return to the cold ground. Oh, I'm a hopeless dreamer when it comes to you. Can't seem to separate wrong from right. I'm just a hopeless dreamer. What's the point in that? I shouldn't get my hopes too high. You're a hopeless dreamer when it comes to him. Can't seem to separate wrong from right. Just a hopeless dreamer. What's the point in that? Don't get your hopes too high. I'm always hoping that you'll be there wherever I am, the coffee shop or in my bed. And I think I have some work to do, but I always get confused, 'cause I only think of you. I don't wanna face the reality, 'cause then I know what to think of me. So I fall back to my hazy dreams. should remind myself every day, this is just a momentary flame. Cause there's no proof that you feel the same as I do. I'm a hopeless dreamer when it comes to you. Can't seem to separate wrong from right. Just a hopeless dreamer. What's the point in that? I shouldn't get my hopes too high. You're a hopeless dreamer when it comes to him. Can't seem to separate wrong from right. Just a hopeless dreamer. What's the point in that? Don't get your hopes too high. Wake up from your daydream. Oh yes, you got to wake up from your daydream. Wake up from your daydream. Oh, you got to wake up from your daydream. Dreamer, when it comes to you, oh, just a hopeless dreamer. When it comes to you, oh, hopeless dreamer. When it comes to you, oh, dreamer. Oh, get your hopes too high.
All right.
Hey.
All right, so let's run back what we just played. The first song was by Jaden Smith called Falling, and that last song you just heard was Dollar Lover called Hopeless Dreamer. And so we're going to go ahead and close this show out. And again, tune in next week for our next show. We're actually going to follow up with the topics we couldn't get to, which is far as it's a hip-hop perspective. We're going to touch on that and also do a part 2 about this Donald Trump election, like far as him winning the presidency. So we're going to touch on that. So we're not going to spend too much time on it because mostly it's going to we're going to discuss about hip-hop and rap and things like that. And also, audience, please follow us on Facebook, Chit Chat Chew Show LLC. You can actually also find us on Instagram, which is Chit Chat Chew Show. You can find us on Twitter, Chit Chat Chew. And you can find us on YouTube. Just search in the engine, Chit Chat Chew, and we will pop up. Any last words you have to say, Jay?
Just also, we have that other Facebook page, which is the Chit Chat, but Chit Chat Chew Radio Show. And I just want to thank Candis, the credit Shero Johnson, credit repair expert, and also entrepreneur. She has a lot of good goals and visions that you guys better just watch out for her in the near future because she's just going to continue to just blow up.
And not only watch out for her, but please follow her and follow up with her too.
Exactly.
Help you with your credit because this be very beneficial for you in the long run.
So I just want to appreciate everyone who listened on audio and our other live streaming. Gay TV what are we? Yes,
GayTVATL.com. We appreciate you all for tuning in and listening to our very great show.
So that's all I have to say.
I ain't got nothing to say, so we about to exit this piece.